Hey guys, welcome into episode 50 of Coffee and Chel. Essentially, this is the first episode of NHL 23. I am Sleeves, joined by my co-hosts Kesso and Padre. And as we always do, let's see how the boys are doing. Kesso, we'll start with you. How are things going?
Dude, life is great. I'm struggling, man. I have to be honest. At some point this week, I was just tired, and I was like, "Do I want to quit all of this stuff?" Like, I'm watching people post like 10 videos a day, like half-assing it and stuff. Like, not you. And I'm like,
the shots are coming out of me.
yeah, right. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can. And then I realized, like, I have to stop comparing myself to these people that do it like literally all day for their job and just enjoy it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have fun. So that's how it is. That's how things. Oh, and I got front page on Twitch yesterday thanks to the 23 hours of Chel.
Dude, talk about that, dude.
Yeah, man. So the EA put on 23 hours of Chel, so an hour for each block, 23 content creators. You had the time slot before me. Once again, I'm picking up your sloppy seconds
with
this
content
stuff.
I was more than happy to host you for that. That was good. I liked that.
Yeah. So I had the 6 o'clock time slot. Clappy hooked it up with front page access.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, I see like 10,000 people watching my stream, which is the most I'll ever get. Like, I'll never be 10% of that. And at some point, I just fed Henry candy corns on stream, which is pretty great.
Picture.
So I think that's like the next level of my my content is just like feeding him on stream.
Yeah.
And just quitting the NHL stuff.
That's it, man. That's the dream. I brought my dog on stream during the subathon for like 10 minutes, and everyone just lost their minds in chat. So it's all about just the pets, man.
It's the only thing that matters.
Padre, you are the one that technically has had the baby the most recent. So how's it going over there with two in the household now?
It's good. It's not even. It's not so much the second kid. It's more so the first kid and just keeping her entertained while, we spend time with the second kid now. And it's just, I don't know. It's just her life changed more than I feel like ours did. Now I've already been through it once. My wife's been through it once, and like Hessa's going through it for the first time. Once you go through the first time, the second time it's not as bad. I think, at least.
Your expectations are already set.
Yeah, especially now that my wife's not working, so it's like I just go to work and I don't. It's not like we're trying to like run to the babysitter or the nanny or my mom or my dad, like whoever.
Yeah,
it's just a lot easier. But yeah, it's Kessel, I'll tell you this, buddy. You said like everyone else is posting stuff. I kind of hit that wall last year where I'm not a content creator like you guys are, obviously, and especially you, Sleazy, but I was always a competitive player, and not that I still feel like I can beat all the top guys. It's not like I'm worried about it. Like if I play them, I just don't think I'm as consistent as I used to be, and I can't play in all the tournaments. But I hit that point where it's kind of like, well, I'm still like really good, but I'm now the best dad in the game, and now I got some competition.
Exactly, that's what it is.
You. Now you're the best content creating dad in the community now, so you don't have to worry about like being like everybody else. Everybody else doesn't have kids. So you're juggling all the balls, you know what I mean? So it's
juggling a lot of balls.
Pretty impressive.
Dude, they got to add the 30 and over division for GWC. Then we'd have a chance.
We'd cook.
Hey, listen. I thought about this, and only the small, like Sleaze always says, the small percentage of the community that would enjoy this. We should have like the senior, like how they have the senior PGA tour. We need a senior top 10 player list.
The Masters division.
Yeah. Yes, like a senior top 10 players list. Like how Saphir does his top 10 players. Me and Kessel are for sure on the senior tour.
Oh yeah, man.
We have to be.
You know what's funny, man?
Hey, technically I'm on the other one, but
you are on the other one. I forgot. Yeah, my bad.
When GWC like the first 2 years, like in 2019, there was always like that random older guy that no one knew, and like I think his name was Dreezy, and he almost beat Gren. I can't remember the other one. There was a Fisher Cell, I think his name was, or something from the U.S. I don't know. I can't remember. There's always this random older guy. So I definitely think there should be a Masters division. I agree. I am in hour 14 of the subathon. I'm not going 40 days like I did last time. This is capped at 7. So I've got another like 10 hours on the docket right now so far. So I'm a little tired, but let's pick up. You guys will pick up the slack. All right. So
yeah, for sure. Oh, here, one thing I do want to mention though. This podcast is sponsored by Gamersaloon.
Yep.
Gamersaloon.com, guys. So Gamersaloon, you can deposit money, play against other players for money. It's one of the ways that Daddy Padre and I got so good at the game. Amazing customer service. Love the website. Have been playing on it since 2008.
I saw that.
So it's year 14.
That was wild.
Yeah, right. So shout out to Gamersaloon. They've been huge into the NHL community too for years. Like you remember the Elite Eight they used to run sleeves
Dude,
with? I think you hosted
that
it.
was it was my baby, man. That was so much fun. No,
Yeah.
Saloon's really good. Anyone listening, if you ask every single competitive player, even the ones that are now, the new crew, Saloon is kind of where you get your start in competitive play. Just there's nothing like playing some money games. So check out Gamersaloon, not just for NHL though, guys. You can pretty much do any game there. So link is down below on YouTube and on whatever spot. I think the Spotify as well. So be sure to check them out. All right, guys, let's get into the launch. So launch has happened, kind of a mess, in my opinion. I think that no one knew when like the EA Play 10-hour trial thing would start, and it just kind of randomly happened, which it is what it is. Castle, let's get your takes early on launch of the game and things that you've noticed maybe in the community that you want to see fixed or that has gone well. Give me your takes there on launch.
So I don't know if I agreed with like it was a mess.
It was just
maybe
random.
I wasn't as in.
It didn't seem streamlined.
Nobody really knew when it was coming out. It came out early, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that's like kind of unknown is the loyalty pack rewards, right?
Yeah, that's the big one.
There's been, I don't know if I see that on the right of the screen, so I think that's what we're talking about in the launch. They had that on their website, like if you pre-order the game or whatever, like they could read how many copies of the game you've had, and now it's removed from their site, so I guess we don't know if people are getting loyalty packs.
Yeah, like from my understanding, so there's like two screenshots that are like going around, and the one was from the EA forums, man. The EA forums will just never go away.
I love the
EA 2022
2022
and the EA forums.
We used to argue on there.
That's where
probably
it was,
12
man.
years ago.
That's where
me and Kessler used to go at it on there 100%. I know for a fact we did. That was the only place you could go back in the day.
Yeah, there was no Twitter back then. Like, well, I mean, there was, but like no one used it. So it was like that's where you did your business, right? Like, but so there was an image posted a couple weeks ago. Someone randomly asked about loyalty rewards, and this community manager, but not Clappy. It was like there's many community managers that cover multiple games. From my understanding, when you looked at it, it literally looks like a copy and paste of what NHL 22 received. So it's like if you played NHL 20, you got X amount, 21, and then he just added 22. And then that obviously added some confusion because it doesn't look like that was a planned thing. Because then obviously once that was up for a few days, it got taken down and there was no mention of it. And it just seems like it wasn't meant to, that was a mistake by the employee that was doing it on the EA forums. Because if you look at a lot of people, then also the other screenshot that's been going around is like, it literally says loyalty rewards. And people are just posting what the loyalty rewards and not reading what the fine print is. And the loyalty reward was like 10% off of the game. Like, if you read through it all. So it was just, it's not very clear. But this has been an extremely hot topic. And I'll be honest, like, I don't think I've ever pulled anything out of those packs, but people bring up the point that it's free stuff that you can use for sets, and I can agree with that, especially now because I'm grinding no money spent. So anything free stuff is good stuff, so I can understand why people are a little upset about it, and then the confusion of what's going on. There needs to be communication, whether it's going to be fixed or whether it's not. I mean, simply coming out and saying this was an error. Like, I apologize, this was an error. Loyalty rewards. Let's be real. The loyalty, the pre-order bonuses that we got were the best we've ever gotten. The 4,600 points, the the team builder cards, the multiple free X factors. Like, in my opinion, I think that like this was the best loyalty rewards or pre-order bonuses that we've gotten. So I think that maybe they just weren't doing it because they kind of upped those bonuses. But yeah, even just coming out and saying, hey, this was an error. We apologize. Here's a couple premium packs. We weren't doing it, but here it is. And I honestly think that I expect that's what's going to end up happening now is, they'll end up doing some sort of make right or something. But maybe it's an issue with, like, tech, Like, maybe they don't...
it could be that. I mean,
know.
I think with what we got this year, like, I don't really care about it. I know it's a thing that they technically advertised. I saw somebody on Twitter that's like, hey, if you're mad about this, like... get a refund because it was like false advertising. Nobody that bought the game that didn't get a loyalty pack is going to return the game. Like they're still going to play it.
I said the thing that I was not rattled about, but I want to see this energy about the presentation stuff. Did you see this? Padre, did you hear about this at all?
No, I
So,
heard about the loyalty stuff though.
yeah, the presentation, it was hyped that we got all these new in-arena atmosphere things, right?
Yeah.
And someone was asking, there's like, I don't want, I'm paraphrasing, so I might not have the accurate quote, but I haven't noticed very many new presentation stuff other than the glow sticks, essentially. But for what I got from that presentation thing was that all the arenas would have like kind of authentic, like Montreal, like they put the torch down on the ice and it explodes. The sharks come out of the shark head, and it looks like there's only 6 arenas that have updated presentation, just 6, and they're random too. I think one of them's Carolina, one of them's Dallas, and then there was a forum post because that's just where all the tea gets spilled on the
All
forums
of the
now.
actual information is on the EA forums.
Someone posted on the EA forums that this is expected because people were like, "Hey, where is we can't turn on full, like there's an option to turn on full broadcast presentation and like condensed, and there's no way to turn it on, so it's just condensed except for these like 6." And it's like, I'm more rattled about that because, again, crossplay ate up most of the resources to get in the game, and I understand that. But presentation was like the other thing, and man, if 6 teams, like, we're gonna talk about gameplay in a little bit, but this is an update. You know what I mean? Like, this is simply an update at full price, which is tough to swallow for a lot of people. But
yeah, for sure.
All right, let's talk about gameplay. Padre, you played a little bit. I'm curious because you have a kind of a specific style of gameplay, and I'm kind of curious as to how your time playing the game went.
Okay. Real quick, too, with the presentation. I'd love to know if the hat tricks work, but I can't score 3 goals with one guy. So
Let's go!
Anyways, but no, I don't know. The gameplay, I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be honest here, and this isn't ripping them or anything. It's just I feel like I'm kind of playing a tuner where the goaltending is very good, and I'm getting sick of seeing people that have never played the goalie position in their lives go around and say, well, the goalie should stop the back doors. Those goalies should stop the back doors. I'm sorry, but go to an NHL practice and go watch a goalie and look how many shots he lets in point blank. It's not as many as people think. And the back doors, those guys score on, I literally want to say like 85% of them. Maybe I'm even higher. So these people that are saying like, oh, I'm glad they're, I get it. That's fine. Like, because it's different than years past. But as a goalie, I think it's a little much. And obviously, you guys know, and Kessel, you're good at it. Sleeves, you've gotten good at it. The saucer pass I like to do from the corner. And it's frustrating that I've hit it probably, I want to say, I've only played 10 games. I got a late start. So, and I have crappy players too. So it's hard to say. But I've only hit it 3 or 4 times. And some of them I've had absolute rockets, like 1Ts, like on the knee, going top titty, and it doesn't go in. I don't know what to do. And it's kind of sad because I feel like the game has come to the point where it's like, oh, you have a 2-on-1 instead of, going back door. No, we're going to throw a turd on net. Like, that's not hockey. I mean, to an extent it is, but it's like I'm watching little backhand muffins dribble their way to the goalie's pad and bounce off. And then even then I've been robbed on some of those. I just don't know what ways to score. There was like a weird wrap glitch I hit where, I don't know if you've hit it, guys, where you just go around the net on your backhand real quick. And in the goalie, like, it's like, here's the post and here's his pad, and there's like a little hole right there, and it kind of squeaks in. That's happened a few times. I know, like, Sleevesy, you've talked about that goal line shot that you used to love, like, from 2 years ago.
No, short side snipes are back, yeah.
Yeah, that's back in the game. I mean, there's some ways to score, but I just feel like the back doors, if you're leaving it open, you should get punished for it. But I from what I hear, they're not going to make many gameplay changes. But that's kind of just the gist of what I've noticed in like the 10 games I played.
I think that like, so I agree. Like backdoor one timers, it's so funny because like for a decade, a major complaint about people is like that's all people go for. It's like, well, that's what they're doing when they're cycling the puck in the real NHL. But it's frustrating because that is the majority of like every goal, right? When you're playing someone online, like that's what it's been for like a decade. And I'll say this, like, I think that it's kind of refreshing that it is different. Like, we can all agree here that the gameplay is much different so far than 22 and even 21, like, because of the backdoor. So what has happened is they put human goalie animations in the game. So in sixes, when you play goalie, if you go across ice or whatever, they have these like you lay down your stomach, you make a huge glove save, like you get over really fast, and that's what's impacting it because all of those animations that were never in HUT or offline or like online that isn't sixes, though they are now getting stopped. And yeah, like so like I'm only scoring low far side or rebound, and that's usually rebounds or like it just snipes right in. And I think I want to wait like a month or two because I think one timers will start going in once we have 90, 95 and above like wrist shot power and or slap shot power and accuracy. Like I think that's the other thing people aren't considering is that when you go from like 99 hut to like launch, shot totals are very low, and the goalie attributes are if you're using like I use Shesterkin and he's been unbelievable, but which is crazy because he's 6'1". And when was the last time he ever had like you know what I mean like that hasn't he has like a 1.2 goals against in about 70 or 80 rivals games. So I've been playing really well with him. But yeah, like I think the types of goals are definitely weird, but it doesn't look like we're getting at much change. And part of me is okay with that because they've done years. I think it was NHL 20. What year was it where they made like 5 to interchange? And the one was like we're going back to beta.
It was the year that I met
21.
19. It was the year I met you in Toronto. Whatever year that was.
That was NHL 19. No, NHL.
Yeah,
It was NHL 19. Oh my god.
It was NHL 19.
It was 19 because I remember me and Gren we were gonna play each other, and I'm like, they just put in like 2 tuners.
Oh yeah, because they did it before the Caps tourney. I remember it was like mid. Yeah, like there was multiple events.
So and Josh were there, and they were hitting rap glitches left and right before the tournament started, and all of a sudden they patched it.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was wild. So like you run into a danger when they start doing that. For sure. So we'll see. There is a new gameplay developer. It's not Ben Ross is now kind of in charge of like the whole. I don't really know the rules, so I don't want to get it wrong. But he's more in charge of like I want to say everyone, not just focus on gameplay. So the new gameplay developer definitely has a vision. In conversations that we've seen with him, Kesso, in the Game Chamber, he has a vision, and I feel a little bit more. Faith or hype in that someone's like got to, not just reacting to essentially what's going on in game. So,
hey, so before you go real quick, can I ask you guys something? If this is like Sleazy said, where they gradually get better, as the year goes on, I don't really mind that. I would almost like if it kind of like builds up as the players get better.
You're talking about one-timers and backdoors?
Yeah, just stuff. Yeah, like if that was the vision, and they're like, hey, like in the beginning, you're kind of going to get some muffins, you're going to get some flubs, it's going to be a little bit more greasy hockey, I guess. But as you get, better players and, it's frustrating because hockey's, I feel like the hardest game for this because football, it's
so hard. Yeah, it's very hard.
Throw the ball. Baseball, it's no matter what, you're just hitting and pitching. Nothing changes really. And this is the hardest game. And I will give them, credit
AI
for that.
goaltender too. Like
cut them some slack, I guess, for that. But I mean, just some of the saves I've seen. Like I said, the one that I don't know how many times I want to ask you guys, Kesso or Sleazy, the one that just cracks me up so much is when you go cross crease and the goalie's on his stomach and he throws his paddle up.
Yeah.
And he stops an absolute piss missile, 90-mile-an-hour clapper with his paddle in the air. And I'm like, dude, I made one of those saves like twice in my life. You know what I mean? Like just pure luck. But anyways, Kesso, I love to hear what you think about this stuff.
Dude, I suck at this game right now. Like
I'm almost in Division 1 too, so it's so funny.
Yeah, it's like I'm giving it a month. So whatever I say over these next 2 minutes or whatever, just don't take it as serious. The game kind of I know I'm gonna get clipped because I don't. It's an uninformed opinion. The gameplay's kind of broken and sucks, but I think it'll get better as we adjust. So okay, sorry, I was reading the chat. What was the issue?
I know, but now we have chat on here.
Hey,
for guys
we're
reading live during my summer.
So the cross crease is not working. I'm fine with that, but a lot of things don't work, and it should work if it gets through clean. So besides that, there's a lot of ugly hockey where people just straight line with somebody with wheels or maybe somebody with unstoppable force. You poke it, you hit the guy, whatever. And there's a lot of incidental contact in these situations, and they pick up the puck between 4 people and just fire a shot in. There's just a lot of ugly hockey with some of the things not working. The most viable way to play is just straight lining, and it's boring. And I hate whenever I'm playing against somebody that's doing this because I'm like, why don't you use some creativity or anything? You're straight. I'm bored now. I'm just gonna sit in front of my net or play the 1-4 trap. And it's just going to be a boring game. Why don't you try something else?
No, I agree.
So
that I can get on board with.
Yeah,
sure.
that kind of sucks.
I'm curious to see as HUT progresses because they haven't fixed this. They've lowered a progression so that we started lower, right? But that doesn't fix the issue. That's a band-aid. It just prolongs the issue because once you get to 99 HUT, the game is completely different than what it is at launch, right? And how many one-timers have you scored D2D?
0.
I feel like the three of us are among the most that play this game regularly that take D2D one-timers too.
Yeah,
It's
and I
worse than
stopped
last
taking
year.
them because they didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just wait for like a deflection, which they do kind of work.
The tips are cool.
But
I still have a blast throwing tips, like setting it
yeah,
up.
that's fun. Another issue I have right now, there seems to be like a lot of broken animations with the hitting. You can line somebody up like to where last year, the year before, whatever, it should be like you give the person a concussion. I know you can't do that in the game, but sometimes like if they just wiggle their stick in the right way, your guy just like misses them and doesn't even clip them, even though you're making like dead on contact. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
There's one deke. It seems to me like you can now deke, and there's like and create time and space where you don't automatically lose the puck like in NHL 22, which I do like because it's more arcadey. It's more like there's more creativity. It's a video game, right? So I enjoy that more. And again, gameplay is all subjective. So what I like won't be what everyone likes, and vice versa. So I kind of enjoy that. But there is some. I want to say it's the spin. Where there's one where like if you get hit while you're spinning or in a certain animation, your guy will just kind of like force move around. Like he won't lose the puck, but he's like pushed, right? And it looks a little ugly. The short side snipes being back, once people get the hang of it, that'll be ugly.
Goal scoring will go up again, and then people will complain. There's just not that many ways to score, it seems.
No,
like I really thought with our early access, like we were playing like the goalies were bad. At some point over the summer leading into this release, it seems like they just tuned them up to like, dude, I'm using an 82 overall Linus Allmark. Is that his name from Boston? The amount of crazies, like I don't even have to play defense. Like he just makes the most absurd saves. And he's not even a good goalie. Like in
I have the
game.
74 overall Ben Bishop, and he's been cooking.
That thing's going for 10K.
Dude, like, he has like 50 aggression, right?
Yeah,
he's got like a 930 save percentage for me. Both my losses are 1-0 games, and I've outshot the kid 2-1, TOA 2-1. What do you guys think with the gameplay the way it is currently? What is the meta? I have big players. I have that Tyler Myers that has the fly, the zone, and he's like 86 or something speed. It's so funny. Every year, like the first card they always give him is like a skating synergy. I don't know why, but they do. And he's actually like nasty. He like protects the puck. His pokes are spot on. Like you said, Kessa, with the hitting. I pulled that White Cloud randomly.
Oh, nice.
And
damn.
And he's got like 90, 95 like body checking, and he does hit guys.
Okay, so that's what I was talking to Sleeves about it earlier, and I think it's because we use like lower players right now. That's why we can't hit.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up. I think that is directly tied. A lot of people are using. So we're talking about meta specifically. Smaller players are definitely more viable, but I think that they're always viable at launch of the game because the big guys, their speed is hammered, right? Like there's a gap because that's what it's intended to be. You don't see like the issue where the small guys are completely useless until the big guys get the 90 and above speed, right? Because once the small guys are capped and they hit 99 skating first, they can't go above 99. So now the big guys start to catch up a little bit, and then that's where you see where everyone bigger is the better player. I'm noticing, like with the small players, if you have someone with elite edges, if you get in the corner, because of like that far side goal being like kind of like the go-to, it's very hard to knock them off the puck. But secondly, a lot of people are using faster players or like smaller guys. So like Cale Makar, for example. And if they don't have like 85 body checking or above, you can't bump them off the puck. And people are having a really hard time getting hits. I have, on my God squad, I've got like all the team builders. And the team builders don't have above 90 speed. Like they're all right around there. But their body checking is jacked. And if you, like, I will throw people with Kachuk, Larry Murphy, even Duchesne. Like I will, if I hit bump, it's not even the stumble animation. It's like the full like 90 degree. The guy's hunched over, like he loses the puck, can't do anything. So I think it is tied to the body checking stat and the big like. If you have to have someone that has really high body checking to get that trigger, because I agree, like I think the bumps are just not really happening, but I think that is kind of because of launch and the players that everyone's choosing. Because Kessler talked about it, the straight line thing is, man, you get into close to Division 1 and they start at the bottom right. They take their guy, the defenseman or whoever it is, straight to the top left, and they make one cut in the neutral zone, and then they go the other way. And like
it's like I want to just like punch these people through the screen because it's like you're not good doing this. So I had a very funny experience this morning, tying back to your team builder thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter woke up at 6 a.m. Okay,
It
so
sounds
I
weird
got
to
up
hear.
at that. Yeah, it's weird to say that. So I fed her, I gave her a bottle, and then she went back to sleep.
Oh, you had
So
dad
it's like
hours.
six, dude.
Dude,
It's
dad
6:30
rivals
a.m.
hours. Oh my god.
Dude, if Champs was here, I would have had the 6:30 a.m. stream rolling. It would have been so much fun.
Dude, you would
It
have
would
got
have been
20
so
and
much
0.
fun. I know. So anyway, so I'm like, I'll play some Rivals games, 6:30 a.m. I search first game, Nip and Biscuits, okay?
Get out of
This
here.
dude, Nip and Biscuits. This guy spent
It's like
over a
$2,000,
grand on his
bro.
team. He has all the team builders. I have my first line was like Bergeron, like Jared McCann, not the MSP, but
The
like base
84. Oh,
McCann.
base McCann.
Yeah, base McCann. And his first line's like Gretzky, Lemieux, and McDavid. I'm like, there's no chance. And I noticed the bumps because like every time he hit me, I went flying and
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
go
even knock at it.
flying.
Dude, I was like, I can't do this.
And
I can't
it's
do this.
funny because that goes again, ties back to like progression, because again, base cards, they do a decent job of like the smaller guys that have speed. They're like Kane's body checking is like 74, right? And as it goes along, though, we're gonna get to like everyone's got 90 body checking, so it can't go any further. And because I think of the last chance puck movement, the bumps are not the stumble, bro. They're the like full on like it's like a WWE move where you're getting ready for the RKO. Like they're ready.
Dude,
for
you know what it
to-
is? Do you remember the Sean Avery dive whenever Yarmir Yager like kind of bumped into him? If you guys haven't seen it, there's a YouTube video. It's the night Yarmir Yager killed Sean Avery, and it's the biggest dive of all time. But that's what these bumps are like.
Love
The
Sean
three
Avery.
people that know this are like laughing right now.
I'm wondering though, because I've only seen the dive animation, like the last chance puck movement, activate like twice for me, because I'm not I don't know a situation in which you're trying to get it, right? Like I don't know if I'm getting chased by someone, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna let him hit me real quick so I can get it activated, right? So you're not like playing for it, but I'm wondering if because it's so egregious that if you double, that's like what it's meant for. Like that's why it's happening so insanely funny. Like that's why, and not a lot of people have those team builder cards. So you're not like the player base isn't noticing yet. So I'm wondering during progression, because if it keeps up where 90 body checking and the bumps are like that, dude, the little guys in January, it's gonna be worse than ever, because they're gonna get thrown around. It's wild.
Hey, real quick, my new pet peeve this year. So it used to be the Hut Champs thing, right? So the Hut Champs was the 20-0 people that would post on Twitter, or not even 20-0, like 18-2, they get top 20, and then I would give them crap about it because they have to get like virtual pats in the back from all their friends.
Twitter
online.
bio update.
Well, now my new thing, and I put Nip and Biscuits in an absolute body bag last night because he posted his lineup.
Oh yeah,
You cannot post your lineup anymore if you spend money, okay? Because if you spend money, you should have the best lineup. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Now, the people that are grinding like me and Kesso, free to play and Sleevesy on your other account, and you have a sick team, or you're Flash Davin. Flash Davin does it every single year. Flash Davin starts out with nothing. He builds a team through work in the market, and he has the best team in the game. Now, Nippin spends like $1,000 every year, and he brags about his team. It's like, you can't brag about that anymore. There's no more like, hey, like, look at my team. I spent $1,000. No one cares. So now that's my new thing. I'm just going to chart the people online that post their God squads and
Larson is too. He loves posting it. He was ripping packs for a full day, man.
He sends me his team every morning, like on my phone, not even on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm tired of seeing your team.
Yo, dude, I called him after he beat me, obviously.
Was it bad? Like, did he beat you bad?
It was 1-0, and then he scored at the end of the game, so it was like 2-0.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad at all.
Okay.
So I'm watching his stream because he was streaming, and I see him on the auction house, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I got to get rid of this X Factor Patty Kane. Like, he's just not that good. I'm like, why are you making adjustments to your team?
He does it every year.
The best team.
Dude, I want to say real quick, shout out to Newfie Boys in chat. I like having the chat. Doing the live one's fun. I like
it is. It's actually a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Hey, and J Tills, I'm not ripping people for spending money. I don't care what you spend money on. You can go to Vegas and go to Spearmint Rhino and drop $5,000. I don't care. All I'm saying is the people that are like, "Whoa, look how sick my team is." It's like, well, yeah, you bought it. Like, what do you mean?
No,
like, give me $1,000. I'll go get X Factor, McDavid, Draisaitl.
Dude, you guys got to see Tills' team later. It's absolutely sick. And dude, dropped the Maserati on Ultimate Team games every year. All right, so Another thing about gameplay that is a major issue that I feel like is not being talked about enough, and this year, last year I think I focused on the 1% of the player base too much in my content. So I'm talking about like the GWC kids, and that's really just such a fraction of the community. So this year I'm making more of a focus on the other 99, and I don't know how it's not being discussed more that if you put your settings to collapsing and 1-4, that in game they are not going to that. They're mislabeled, and like the pro players, they understand it, but they've just changed it. But like I can guarantee you, there is guys that'll watch my like videos or your videos like about like what strategies to use, and they're like, oh, collapsing, like that's the D one you should set it to. That's tight point currently. And you don't know because when you go and look in game and you go to adjust the lines in game, it literally says collapsing. But you know from like the last 20 years, because it's been the same strategies, that it's the dot is not in the right spot. And then I was playing like my first 3 games, and my wingers were up at the D. I'm like, what is going on here?
So I want to run tight point, which is really collapsing.
That's collapsing. If you want to use collapsing, you got to have staggered. It's a mess, bro. And not only
do
that,
they know this?
Huh?
Do they know this is like going on?
Yeah, I think that they've probably got a lengthy list of fixes. I know they have a lengthy list of fixes. Is your computer just blue screen, or are you like growing pot?
I just turn on my games and then go fix my strategy.
Like, dude, you growing pot, bro?
No, I'm like, I just have my strategy set to collapsing, and I'm like, oh no, I've had the wrong one. No wonder why my freaking forwards are all the way at the freaking point.
They're all the way at the top, dude. They're all the way at the top, man. Yeah, and I think 1-2-2 passive is actually the 1-4. Like it's a disaster because I'm someone, Kesso, you are just like we all like the strategies of the game. Like I actually enjoy it. I have been cruising with Overload. Like I'm having a blast.
I hate to say it. So here's my issue with using Overload.
Go ahead.
You made a really solid video on it, and I'm like, I gotta find another one. Like, cause like,
another video?
like another strategy. Like, cause here's my thing. I watched your video and I thought it was great because you did it well. I watched some other ones in the community. I had a brain aneurysm. I watched yours. It was done well. You have like there's plays in Overload, specifically like you pass to the guy that moves into the slot and pass back. Like that works in a lot of them. So like how I am, I'm like I gotta do like crash.
You gotta find a new one.
You can't behind the net because it's the same video that it's been posted for 20 years.
And the one-timers aren't working. Strategies. So like behind the net is like the only play from behind the net is the wrap.
It's still solid.
Yeah.
Like because there's still those movements there. So like I'm trying to figure out crash the net, and like I swear like Eki and maybe Daddy Padre here are the only ones that have been good with crash the net. Oh, and then Gren and CJ too.
The crash net is very difficult because it appears there's no set strategy. It's like the players react to the puck. So so like once you get into this, like on the rush, it's super effective because you can like, again, for the rebounds, because rebounds are so impactful this year, like it's really strong for that. But once you're in the zone, you start cycling. There isn't a way to do what you can do with the overloaded behind the net, really, where you're like doing those set plays. I saw a guy today, and I don't know if like this is actually the case, but I saw a guy today. I was using my no money spent team, and I could see him set up the overload, and he was trying to hit like the triangle give and go. And I'm like, dude, why don't you watch my video?
So somebody just brought that up in chat, and I think that's like whenever you do stuff like that, you read like tip videos and stuff. Like you can take that and get to Division 2 probably.
100%, like
the people that benefit the most are like they understand like the teaching behind it. That are like, okay, he looked for these and he found these plays. How can I learn other things within this strategy or the other ones, right? Because like it's funny. Like if you played somebody, it's like okay. The 10,000 or 12,000 people that watch that video, they're going to try those 5 plays, right? And then you're going to know how to beat them.
I think that's big, again, for anyone that is not in Division 1. If you don't have like set plays when you're cycling, even if you just have 2, you're at a way bigger advantage because you're actually looking for something. You're not just reacting. Because like that's the hard part. Like when you actually start to try and set something up with a cycle as opposed to just reacting, you'll go up a division easily. So I've gotten a lot of good feedback on that video. I worked a lot on it, like in the alpha and the beta, because it's the only thing in practice mode. Like
that's what really sucks.
I wish we could, like, if you could do crash the net in practice mode, because right now, guys, if you go into practice mode, it's set to overload and you can't adjust it. So that's why I was like, when we had the game in the summertime, we were play testing and all of that. I just sat there and tried to figure out. I'm like, okay, this is the only thing we have. So I was like, I'll try and figure out some here, and those are the only ones I came up with, but.
Didn't somebody say too that 122 passive is really or like aggressive? Like somebody said that was
Someone's got
the same
B.
kind
I
of
think
thing.
B Wubs is in here. B Wubs, if you do you know the real the actual correct ones for because I think it's the forecheck is wrong and I know the defensive strategy is wrong.
So I
So
want staggered is what I want because I use collapsing. Correct.
yeah, you want staggered. Staggered is collapsing. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So let's talk about the HUD content. So the HUD content's come out. We got the Spotlight event. Has taken a lot of L's, but the 2 free master sets essentially at launch of the game in the first event, that's a W. Like, I'm doing free to play for the first time, and I'm stoked about that because you're getting 2 free 88s essentially right off the rip. Kesso, who are you going to choose? I want to know both of you because you're both very. Padre's going to be like, well,
Yeah.
Sleeps, who should I take? But Kesso, who who are you going to take?
Dude, I so like my brain was fried early in the week. I picked Pasternak for my free like 84.
Okay.
And I didn't even look at the
The agility,
because-
bro.
and I haven't really noticed it
They
mattering
have
that
to
much.
fix that. Come on now, right?
I would think, but I haven't.
Yeah, because it was
I
like
don't know.
it was 81 at 84. Like it was egregious. Like because
Yeah.
he's such a good player.
But these cards aren't going to be on your team that long. They're at most 88 overall. Like I'll still use the card.
Right-handed wingers definitely is the most expendable position because there's so many. Like
Yeah.
Barzal, McKinnon, Panarin, all those guys are always yeah.
Yeah, and then my 88, I'm deciding between Letang and McCann. I think McCann's the best card, especially Gold Unstoppable Force this early on. I played against him. I couldn't get him off the puck. But I think good defensemen are really useful too.
Defensemen always last the longest in the first event usually.
And he has that gold stick him up, I think.
Gold stick him up is that Steve Duchesne team builder. I didn't think would be like as impactful as it is, but because of the Pocheck nerfs, stick him up is gross. Like you just tap R1 and it locks onto the puck. Like you'll knock it free, whether you get it back or that's a whole other thing. But when you knock it free, like it'll actually come loose. So stick him up is really good. I've heard a lot of like mixed things about that Letang because I agree with you. It looks really good. I took McCann. And I just have the 84 version. I haven't noticed him all that much, but he has a lot of points for me in squad battles because I'm grinding squad battles in my free-to-play team. And I played my 5 placement games, and I haven't. I noticed him a little bit in Barzal and Barzal's X Factor. Anyone because another really great card was Larkin. Same situation. Anyone that has high agility, I think you notice, and agility is always the third skating stat that people always look at. They look at speed first, which they should, and then acceleration, and then agility is kind of like whatever. But if you get someone with elite edges and has like 90 plus agility, when you go left and right, man, like there's no keeping up, right? And like that's where you get a really big advantage. Larkin's base card was so good for me on my God Squad that like I legit went out and bought his X Factor. And we'll talk about X Factors, but because like you should not invest in them if you're gonna play long term. But I was like, this is just a really fun card, so. Same with Makar too. Makar's just again high agility, man. You really notice it. I don't know if it's because you hang on to the puck more now, but it's been really fun.
I literally, so this is my HUT story so far this year, and I'm really annoyed with it. I started out and I told all your chat and Discord, I'm like, you can keep doing the restart your team until you get the X Factor you want. Well, I did until I did it about 20, 25 times. And then all of a sudden EA said, oh, you can't make any more teams till tomorrow. So I woke up the next day, a few hours later. I was like, I'm going to remake my team.
Who were you trying to get?
I wanted Larkin.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I got everybody but Larkin. Like, me and Tantalizing were sitting in Discord, and we were like, every time we saw red, we're like, oh my gosh, it's got to be him. No, it's not him. So I kept doing it over and over and over again. Finally, the next day, I was like, okay, new day. I can do it again. I make one team, and then all of a sudden, after one team, they're like, you're done. And I'm like, what
you
in the
hit
world?
the max?
So and I only did it one time. So then I was like, okay, so I got to get somebody else the next day. I started like gambling. And then I was like, and then I think I ended up sticking with Barkov, but I didn't upgrade him because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to upgrade like Kesso said. Or no, like you said, upgrading these X Factors is kind of pointless, right? Unless you're getting McDavid or Draisaitl or Matthews or Bakar, like the studs,
ones, yeah.
The guys that are guaranteed 99s. So I ended up doing that, and I ended up doing the spotlight thing that you guys were talking about. I took McCann, and I got White Cloud also. I haven't finished grinding the 88. I did that pack for like whatever it was. You got the free untradeable one, and that's how I got White Cloud. Mm-hmm. And so far, Kesso, I only have McCann in 85. I don't have the gold on Saba Force, and he's good even just as like an 84, 85.
Yeah.
Like he's been really good for me.
He definitely looks like the clear cut above everyone else.
So when I was asking you off stream, off whatever, I was texting you and you were like giving me your little lippy attitude. And I was sitting there saying like, well, who's the best? And the reason why I asked is because last year everyone freaked out about Byram. So I was like, well, why isn't Byram good too? Because you were like right away, you're like McCann. And I'm like, well, what about Byram? You're like, well, it's McCann. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Let me explain.
Why not Byram, I guess is what I was trying to ask.
I've been streaming for, well, not just today, but since the beginning. And I have a pretty good patient tolerance for like people asking me the same question over and over again. Probably better than almost every other streamer. I don't know why I'm like numb to it. I'll get viewers that'll be like, dude, how do you just sit here and answer about the loyalty packs 4,000 times or like what cards to go with and whatever. So you asked me and I was like, it's McCann. And then I was rude. I was rude. I was short. And you were like, oh man, but what about Byron? I'm like, I said McCann. Like, I was like
and I know you've been having stressful. I get it. And I have to cut you some slack. And listen, I'm sure you get asked 5,000 times every single day. And I get that too. It's it was more so I was just kind of surprised, I guess, because Byram I thought would be.
He looks, Byram looks good, but his abilities are kind of just like mid, right? But someone, I feel bad. There was someone in my chat earlier, and he asked like, "Hey, I got Morgan Riley and Bowen Byram and Roman Yossi. Like, should I sell or keep Morgan Riley?" I'm like, all right, for 15K. I was like, actually, Morgan Riley's kind of worth 15K. I think he's a really, really good base card. And then like 4 or 5 minutes later, I saw the same thing again. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, yeah, you probably want to keep Morgan Riley. And then I looked down again. I'm like, did this guy already ask? He went and asked, and I was like, bro, that's enough. You ask me one more time, you're banned. Like, I was just like, I've had enough, dude. I was like, if you ask me and I give you my answer, that's the answer. Don't. I felt so bad because it was probably some kid. Like, it was probably just a kid.
Now, is Heatseeker, though, we don't know this yet, is Heatseeker, and this is for Kessa, I know he's going to go test this out, is Heatseeker going to be kind of sick because the D&Ds don't work, maybe?
Dude, I have 4 defensemen with silver Heatseeker.
Okay.
I haven't noticed much. Yeah. I know that goal. Like, I'm taking, like, point shots.
Yeah.
It's just not, dude, nothing's working
You know what's frustrating? I think about the gameplay, and that's I like, again, I have actually really enjoyed the gameplay because 22, as you guys know, like that was my least favorite, and gameplay is so subjective. Like, there's people that love it, every game mode, it doesn't matter, right? Last year was my least favorite gameplay, and I was probably the minority there. I have really enjoyed this gameplay because the cross ice one timers not being automatic goal just changes everything because it's vastly different. But yeah, like the shots on, like there's so many things now that are not going to go in, which is lame because it removes it entirely. So D2D one-timers, I don't know if I think I've maybe taken 3 actual D2D one-timers because now what I do instead is I get my defensive back to the point and I hold L2 for a second and I wait for my centerman to look at me and I go for a tip shot. Which is cool. I'm like, because that's a set play, right? Like doing a set play is actually pretty sick. Like, that's cool. But the fact that D&D one-timers just simply will not go in, that's frustrating. And
it's so frustrating because it's like they should go in 10%.
Gold 1-2 with Larry Murphy 10%. Is pointless.
Is it? That doesn't. Oh yeah, because he's right-handed. Is that still in the game? Because I haven't been able to use somebody like that.
I've tried there was one game where I hit this kid with it must have been like 15. And either it misses the net or like, and it still has the sound. Like, it sounds like it's an absolute cannon. It can get tipped, but like it's just not going to go in. So the other thing is stick lifts. Like,
I don't mind it. There's a lot. So like, I think they're kind of broken. They end up a penalty a lot, but dude, there's some things on defense that were so overpowered for years. So, like, you have to be in the perfect position to do them. I don't want them to tune it, and it's, like, something more in favor of defense, like, the last few years.
Let me ask you this. How many times have you stick lift?
I do it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I would say a few times a game.
Really? Okay, well, I mean,
yeah, I started in general, I always have, like, a few times a game.
Because it's a lot like the D2D one-timers for me now. Because I've done it, like, I get it where you miss the stick and you like that should be a penalty. But I've done it where if you don't hit like almost the blade, like if you're not lifting at the blade, it's like it's the hit box for like the penalty is like just after or is before the hands on the shaft of the stick.
Yeah, right? And we talked about this before, and Padre brought up a good point. It's like, how often watching real hockey do you see like these clean ones like from so far away? And like whenever I think of like 6 stick lifts in real life, like there's always like the Datsuk highlights where they're like perfect.
It's just
Like
little ones from
that
behind,
happens
right?
so
Yeah.
it happens so infrequently. So like I almost don't mind it how it is.
Yeah.
See, I miss it in the corner battles. That's where I've been
Yeah,
noticing
dude.
where I've like that's where I would do it most, Kessel, like last year in Sleazy.
Yeah.
It was more so like I'm in the corner and I don't, I don't want to like pin him and I'm just like just let this stick real quick. Or like I'm chasing, we're having a puck race and we get by the boards and I just pick his pocket real quick, grab the puck, and that's when I would use it the most.
That's what's
now
been
it's
frustrating
yeah.
because like there's times where I want to stick lift because I think that is the correct play, but I don't because the risk of penalty is just so high. So I agree with you, Keza. Like I think that like I think it was a little there's definitely a time for overpower. I want to try is it bouncer? What's the one with stick lifts? Is it stick 'em up? There is an
Stick
ability.
lift?
I
So
can't remember that.
bouncer does
The
that
automatic
for the
strength.
stick lift tie-ups in front of the net.
I thought there was ability.
Is it
Yeah,
yoink or
yoink,
something?
yoink. Somebody
Yeah,
just
I
said
would
that in
love
chat,
to
yeah.
try gold yoink, and it just sounds so stupid to say. Gold yoink. If you could actually stick lift,
You can. I think it's like Mark Stone's the only one
Yeah,
that has
No,
Mark's
that.
on first run.
Barkov has it. I have
Oh,
Barkov. and
okay,
I'm gonna,
Barkov.
Yeah.
Yeah, give
That's
that
why
a rip
Padre
tonight,
picked
man. See if
that.
you can.
Yeah, that's why I
Barkov.
picked Barkov. It only took my 30th time.
Yeah. So like that'll be interesting to see. Like, because I don't think we're gonna get a lot of adjustments. So this is what it is, and maybe it's the stick checking stat. Like maybe lower stick checking stat, and maybe that's just why. Because a lot like the body checking, that might just be a threshold they've got to hit. So, but yeah, like so just to wrap up the content real quick, it looks like they're not doing as many prime times. It looks like they're only coming out a little bit, which is nice. I think they're just focusing on the big ones, which is cool. The first event we already got teased, so that's kind of like we already know what it was. But splitting up the master sets was stupid because we already know all 10. But I guess they want to kind of make it where it's like, okay, this is week 1, here's week 2.
Oh, did they only release 5 of them?
Yeah, there's 5 that you can make. So
okay.
yeah, you can when you make the choice pack, it's a minimum of 8 days, and like all of them are in there. But again, like as a free to play player, you can legit just play the game and make 288s for free, which is huge. Like I think that's got to be the most like generous thing EA NHL has done.
Yeah,
in terms
for
of the
sure.
event. Now the next one is the big one. Let's talk about. We'll talk about the market in a little bit, but like the big one is. I hope the next event is Evo or Fantasy.
I want that to be one more away.
Why?
Just because I want to have more coins for that.
Oh, you think? Okay.
Like I have like 200,000. I want to have like at least 1 million.
We're gonna wipe out the market,
dude.
Hey.
I can't wait.
Hey, I think the biggest 3 events of the year, and might be just point out the obvious. I think it's Evo, Team of the Year, and then Team of the Season. And I think if you guys, if you're not maybe hut rich, you're just kind of like in the middle. I think that's for me. Like looking back on last year, I kicked myself. Like I'm a big player. Like I love using big players, but I regret not making Duchesne just because it would have been one less 99 I would have had to make. I made Kairu, and then they bumped up his height somehow. He grew 2 inches over the year.
You complained about it. You got him changed.
Well, the best part is he's not even 6'1". Like he's a little bit taller than me, and I'm like 5'8". Like in real life, I swear he's not that tall at all.
It's listed on the website though, like on NHL.com. It's listed as
it's so random. Like some websites he's different than others. I don't know, but either way, the fantasy the Evo event is the most important. And if you have like any kind of hockey knowledge and you follow the real game, like last year, like Lucas Raymond, if you got his, you could have guessed that he was going to get like where he finished like last year. I can't remember like how high.
I think he got up to the 90s. He had a good start though, like because he started out of the gate. Same as Sider.
But you could tell, like if you follow like prospects stuff like that, like it's really. I mean, I'm telling you, like just empty. If you're gonna spend money, empty. Like that's when you should do it. Like I don't know. I just feel like it's such a big event. I'm so pumped for the Evo event.
Tells in my chat. He said last year 48% of Evos made it to 99. 80% of those Evos finished above 90. So when you think about events that have longevity. Ones that, especially one that happens, a month into the game, that's huge when you think about it. Like, especially because EA has no control. Duchesne had a shooting percentage and a season that he's never had before, and he was 99 in December. And why I love it is because there is nothing EA can do about it. Like, they don't want 99s in the game, and Duchesne's like, nah, I got it. Like that's just, it makes me laugh. Like, it's funny. So it's always my favorite event, and I think because last year it went. Launch event was whatever. It wasn't Lit versus Grit, but I always say Lit versus Grit. And then it was like the Halloween Superstar Origins. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. And then the Halloween was 1 week. and then which was an awful event. Like I think it was the master sets like no one used, and then was the Evo event. So, but the thing is, we started the game late this year. Like the season had already started. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because you have to remember that their master set cards have already been put in the game. Like they've already been made, so they've already made their choice. So if Mason Marchment is one of them, he's already got 3 goals, right? Like so they have to, because that's what happened with Duchesne. They had Duchesne picked, and he had 9 goals in like his first like 6 games. And that's what ended up happening. So he got out, and he has such high speed that like he was usable. Right. This is the hard part about this event, though, is you have to be patient, because if you're free to play, if you're going to spend $400 to $500K on a card, it needs to be like your best card. But the problem is that these cards start at like 80 overall. So you've really got to like hedge your bet and like time it. And if they give it to someone who's got such high speed, like Kairu was a perfect one too, because he's so fast that his speed was already usable. Because if the speed is usable, it doesn't matter what the other attributes are. You can at least get away with him being in your lineup. So I'm curious on their choices. It is my favorite event though, not just for the market aspect, but like any event that has you, any event that has you watching the real thing is a great thing. The game day tilt cards, they're doing those, and I think they're putting a little more emphasis in them. I made the Rasmus Anderson just to see if I could. They were actually relatively cheap. It was 3 collectibles. And he ended up not doing well, but his first game, he would have been great, but he ended up not doing well. I thought that you get like 0.5 for a block shot, and a hit. And I was like, it's a Battle of Alberta. Rasmus Anderson has a lot of blocks and hits. I was like, that's the safe one. And I think Tyson Barrie ended up with like a goal and an assist, and I think he's an 83, but it's just fun. So I hope that event's next and they just skip Halloween, but I don't think they will. They'll probably
the Evos, if you look last year, it's kind of, you can maybe kind of, before it comes out, kind of guess maybe who it could be.
We did with McCann on the podcast. Like if we go back in the archives, me and
Tarasenko, shoulder surgery. Yep. Anders Lee was out the whole year before that. The year before, you kind of like look at some of the people and maybe guess, who could be candidates for each team. And I'm kind of wondering that too, or not for each team, but you know what I mean.
They usually pick like second liners.
Phil Kessel, will he get? He was
had one last year, but like I'd love a.
This year would be a cool one because he's going to Vegas and. That kind of thing. I don't know. There's a bunch of cool ones. That's my favorite event. Like you said, it's just fun.
Yeah,
that's like the one thing that keeps you like on your toes.
You know what's actually hilarious is we didn't get a goalie in this event, and this is the first year I'm upset because, dude, I'm using base Shesterkin and he's good. So like you can use any goalie you want now, as it seems.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I might have to try out like one of these goalies.
You know what I mean?
Jesus
like
Christ, this dog.
And
I don't know if you guys can hear that. This dog's going crazy.
Oh, you're good.
I can't. No, I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
That's good. That means my microphone's working.
That's good. Your setup looks crisp. It looks crisp.
The dad hat's the best part. Let's be honest here.
The dad hat is the.
Gotta lean into the brand, the pig and the dad, right? What else do I have? Nothing else in life.
10,000 people watched you feed a pig, bro. All right, let's talk about game modes. So something that once the shine of the new NHL game wears off and we get into our weekly chores, nothing new, but Rivals Burst, I have loved.
Dude, I can't believe how much fun. Like, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, you just knock the games out.
Dude, you hit play. Dude, EA knows. They're like, we'll put play next as the first thing. So when they hit X, it doesn't go back to the menu. They immediately go into another game, and it's like that Fortnite, one more game kind of thing.
Yeah.
I loved it. Padre, I don't know. What did you think?
As somebody who never played Rivals besides one time per week last year, every week, I like it because I have to play Rivals. Like, I don't know if anybody saw, I streamed earlier. My title was, well, I'm playing Rivals because there's nothing else to do. And, it's way better. I think I'm going to even get to the point. I think we're going to be even more greedy that I'm like, I want 1 minute period, or, like the 1 minute time. I want to get it even faster.
Next week, dude, when we heard about this, the first thing was like, man, because there's no new mode, right? And this is like, again, why I think 24 will be so good, because I think they made this change as a Band-Aid to kind of freshen up the weeks. And because they couldn't put a new mode in, they're like, hey, we'll change the variations or whatever. But when I saw that, like, hey, you can't play straight up 5-on-5 with your team in any mode that's online except for Champs, and Champs is a bloodbath early on. It's brutal early on. A whole week of play. Next week is 5-on-5 arcade. And
as
a one percenter, the one percenters are gonna hate it, bro. And
yeah,
I'm competitive. Like, I don't like losing, and I lose a lot, so like this game is tough to play. But actually, you know what? I haven't lost that much this year, so never mind. playing the game like and trying to be better and get better at the game, and like again the strategies, dude. A bump is a smash hit in arcade.
Yeah.
So like, dude, they're gonna go and like the goaltenders are on rookie, so you can just just fling it. Like it's gonna be a disaster. So
Arcade.
It's gonna suck to like not be able to play a game during the week, like a real game.
I think after the like especially because the rewards are so like Rivals rewards are really like the main rewards you get for someone that doesn't like squad battles, which is a lot of people. So like that's especially because it's a new game where you actually want to play. Like I really
that's my thing.
Yeah,
that's my thing. It's like I want to learn the game and I want to get better at the game. Like if I wanted that, I would just go play Hut Rush because that has 5-on-5 arcade.
And dude, so after doing the Hut Rush grind brand, like it infuriates me even more of the lack of just investment into Hut Rush because it is a mode that's there. They've just kind of done away with it. I'm so sick of using 80 overall Timothy Liljegren in my 3-on-3 arcade. Because like the problem is like they want it to be like score all these crazy dekes and awesome goals and hype up your numbers, and I was like, okay, cool. If I do between the legs passes, I can get a bigger modifier when I score goals as I'm grinding out Hut Rush. And I was like, this is what the mode was meant to be, where you do and chain something together. I'm like, cool. The problem is that every time I strike in on a breakaway with Timothy Liljegren, he can't deke. So I put the leg between the legs, and he just lose the puck. And I'm like,
he does.
I was just like, like I was having a meltdown, like just because I was like, why are we not getting the best cards to choose from? So fun, like it's an.
Did you play the Sarah Nurse one? I
did.
The Hut Rush.
I did,
dude.
Score one timers was a troll. Like they knew they're like score one timers. They're like no.
I couldn't score on like rookie.
Yeah, no, because the rookie goalies they're on rookie, but they have the human animations. That is what, like, last year, because this is why post to post was so good. People did not understand that, like, it was triggering an animation, not a bump up in attributes, right? Like, it was legitimately slamming their shoulder into the post. And now with the human animal, it doesn't matter if you're on rookie or not, because they're still going to get the animation, right? Like, so, like, it's arcade, bro. Like, next week, I'm very curious to see if like Reddit, that sewer, if it blows up or, everyone like because the loudest people in the community are the competitive people. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, they play the game the most, the most passionate. They have the loudest voice. I can't see one person enjoying it that I think the 98% they might, and that's perfectly fine. But I want to play 5-on-5 like I do. Like I
Dude, what are you gonna do whenever it's 3-on-3 international like simulation?
I'm gonna throw up because, dude, when you're in division, dude, if you're in Division 1, you are playing a different game. I've said this a lot of times. If you play in Division 1, you are playing a different game, which is why you need big players and all of that. Like the meta and how you play is far different than every other experience. So if you're not in Division 1 or you haven't been in prior games, you simply just don't know what it's like. And someone like me who's on the lower end of it, bro, like there's no getting the puck back. Like, it's going to be, the time on attack is going to be whoever wins the draw, and then it's like 17 minutes to 2. And no one's shooting because they're just going to wait for a, I hope I like Burst. Great addition.
It's awesome, man.
So Hut Rush, like real quick, I only played it for like a few minutes. I didn't do like the big grind. Is it just me or is it like a lot more points this year or something to like get to the end?
So like we can talk about this a little bit. Yeah, like the rewards this year. They've done away with like this is a bit more to milestones, but for Hut Rush specifically, it's 3 weeks long and there's way more rewards. But like if you get 7 million, you get a base pack. It's not like tiered where like, you know what I mean? Like there's just, if you get it all, it's a lot of stuff. It takes a lot longer. It's a lot of stretch out. I know a lot of people complained that the new Hut Rush will come out, it'd be 2 weeks long and people will be done it in an hour and a half. Because there's people that enjoy Hut Rush. Like, it is, like, a fun, casual mode for people that don't grind the game, right? But what's happening now is they made it 3 weeks. The reward tree is super long. And the objectives only get you about 25% of the way there. So
wait, did you finish all of it already?
Oh,
like all the way to the end? The 7 million?
Brother, I was committed to that no money spent, dude. I did it for my no money spent team. I did the whole 7.5 million. It took me...
Oh, my God.
Dude, it took me 9 hours. And it was disgusting. Like it was actually, I made a joke that like it was worse than the level 1 to 40 no mount grind in like vanilla Warcraft. Like
See,
kids
Padre
these
and
days.
I aren't nerds, so we don't.
Okay,
I'm
let's
just-
stop. Okay, well, people in the chat will understand that are over 30. They will get it. That kids these days don't know what the grind is like, where it's monotony to the 10th degree. But it was bad. But it's also not how it was intended to be done, because on Monday we're gonna get new objectives, and that's gonna be like another 2 million, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
I'm excited to use OHL players that are 75 overall. That'll be my favorite part of that.
Slowly but surely added. I only did 5 Hut Rush games. I got to like 1.2 million.
Yeah, because you just do the objectives, right? You can burn out those objectives in like 20 minutes, get 2 million, and the reason why it's helpful is that at launch of the game is the only way to get rewards, because the squad battles and rivals is not instant. So we haven't got rewards yet. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna make content here, I need to get rewards somehow. So the offline challenges were the only other way, and then building up your team, it was without spending money, man. It was just Hut Rush. So that's all I've been doing. The rivals win streak rewards, brother. All of our fears, man. All of our fears. Have you seen those, Kessel?
Yeah, because I got them all.
Oh yeah, And how did you feel about them?
So I mean, I pulled X Factor Larkin.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's a 30K card, but it was untradeable.
It's not 30K now.
Well, how much is it now?
A lot. All the X Factors went through the roof, and
why?
Because everyone has coins now, and they don't understand that X Factors are still not what you should be investing in.
Oh damn!
We can educate. We can educate.
Okay. Why? Okay, so I like it. I want them to adjust the tiers. Like it's like win 3 games in a row or win 6 games total for the max one. Like you do that in 3 games if you're like a solid player.
It'll be different when you're in Division 1 though. Like, but even still,
still, it's just win 6 games.
I knew that's what it was gonna be, man. I knew that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah, so like I want to see something like win 15 games in a row or win 40 games. You know, like something
Get an ultimate pack.
add a couple. Yeah, add like 2 to 3 tiers. You know.
Yeah,
like there's just one of them is like win 1 game, right?
Yeah, and you get like a customization pack. Like it's
dude, I hate by the way, these customization packs, the choice packs, they put that in the game just to mess with you because it's like I have to open this, I have to go through the 5 rounds. It's the worst part of the game.
It is actually awful.
The only person that cares about the customization is Junior Pens. He loves to do that dab celly when he
loves it, dude.
He'll literally, hey, any of you PS5 people out there, if you want to make some sweet bank on some dumb cards, go find the dab celly that goes on the ice and you can
the diving dab.
Yeah, Pens will pay 10K for those. Just go ahead and do it. He'll buy them all up.
Somebody said those wins are hard for me. Don't make your focus to 1%. I totally agree.
Tiers,
I said,
like if we're in Division 1 and you're in Division,
make them extra tiers. That's it.
Yeah, like
because like
go ahead.
If those wins are hard for you, like I don't think the 6 wins like total are hard for you because like Rivals is designed for you to win 50% of your games. So you'll finish your win rewards after 12 games. There's a 100-game limit this week. So like you're probably done within 2 to 3 hours for those ones. So like I don't know. I think they should add tiers.
Yeah, like it's all like it's all relative. Like Division 1 it's rough because it's harder to win those games, like because you're at the kind of like the max there. If you're in a lower division, you're at your skill level. Like that's what skill-based matchmaking is designed to do, right? So it's just the rewards are pointless. It's more stuff. It's nothing to be excited about. It's just more stuff, which is what Hut Rush rewards were. So, spoiler alert, I pulled 85 Kucherov out of 9 hours of doing Hut Rush. So that was
no money spent, baby.
Yep. Team building. Let's talk about how we're building our teams. We should talk a little bit about what we're focusing on. All right. I have a God Squad where I just have the best cards, and I also have a no money spent team. But let's listen to Padre. What are you doing to build your team?
Well,
step up to the class. Front of the class.
Honestly, like I said, I screwed up and I kept doing the starter packs.
I can't believe you did it 30 times.
Well, I mean, it only took.
That's commitment to the grind, bro. I respect it.
Well, I was just like, I want Larkin. Everyone's like, Larkin's the best. Like, I was talking to Staff Alien about it. And Sap was like, you got to get Larkin. He's got the gold wheels. He's fast. I'm like, all right, cool. And he was like the best, like relatively big guy that's fast. And I was like, okay, I can use that because wheels right now. I mean, you can't even max out your AP right now unless you have a God Squad probably. So
Yeah,
for me, it would have been great to have him.
You activate everything, yeah.
Right. So I was like, okay, like I want to get Larkin. But I mean, I'm still going with the size, but I'm looking for guys that are fly the zone and wingman. So size with fly the zone and wingman. And I have like all that like activated. And they're in my team, they move pretty well. They have size. I'm not losing the puck. And the small guys that I do have, because I have Jack Hughes untradeable, I somehow pulled that out of like a reroll.
The base card or the master set?
Yeah, the base card, and he loses the puck a lot for his size, and he's not like it's not like he's like 5'8" like or 5'7" like DeBrincat. He's a little bit taller, but he loses the puck more than I have like Burakovsky, and he's like 6'2", and he's really good actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So what do you focus on?
Dude, I'm doing free to play this year. It's terrible.
It's kind of fun though, like because you get excited about any pull.
It is.
That's how I am every year.
Yeah. Yeah. I posted a video on my YouTube just with like the team that I'm using right now. Yep. Like I think I made the team with like 50K or less coins.
How many cards did you give out? Don't say the names. How many cards did you suggest?
So I suggested types of cards. I want to say like 5 to 15.
Can I guess? Let's see if I can guess right.
Yeah, because I'll have my team pulled up right now,
and you can. Let's see.
It's the same, dude. It's the same cards every year.
So this is for free to play. These are the cards you should go at that are almost free or very, very cheap.
Yeah, let's go.
One of them, Kuznetsov.
Of course.
Okay. One of them, Taylor Hall.
No, because he was too expensive, dude. I was going 50K or less, dude. I was going super cheap. He was like 8 to 10K.
Kasperi Kapanen.
Of course.
now I'm curious because like at that cheap, I'm trying to think of ones that I got. Dude, Gus Nyquist was one.
No, but that's a solid one.
Yeah, Gus Nyquist was one. All right, who else you got?
So I got Zibanejad.
Really?
I have him. He was actually pretty cheap whenever I got him. TJ Oshie, because he has fly the zone.
Okay.
Ellers for workhorse.
Yep.
Cam Atkinson's not bad. And then like on defense, it's like Letang, Chabot, Ekblad, and Werenski all have Heat Seeker or Seeing Eye. Okay. And then Pietrangelo has like Shutdown.
Pietrangelo for fly the zone too, I think.
I got Petro too. Petro's nasty.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not bad at all. So my thinking was, whenever you use these budget builder guys, they're cheap. Like, so they have shitty shooting.
Yep.
They're quick because they're smaller. So like I had guys with like Schneip and stuff. So like Zibanejad, that was my reason for getting him because like it counteracts his low shooting power and accuracy with that if you have
Schneip.
Not really. A little bit.
I have it on Pasternak, and I don't know if he's hit. I don't know.
These ratings are so low. That's the thing. That's the issue.
I actually
had a lefty Schneip work though.
I have a theory about Schneip because it's very hard to quantify it, right? Because it's like settles, bobble, puck. It reminds me a lot of close quarters, but it's it's very hard to activate because it's like you have to not collect the puck cleanly. If you hold it out on a forehand, let's say you're doing a wrap around the net and you're going real wide, and you don't have a clean like far side shot, and you kind of have to just. I noticed it today because on my free to play team I had Pasternak. And I was like, you know what? I don't like the look of this card because he's got low agility, but I'm going to give him a shot because this is like the whole point of using another team. Yeah. And he scored a goal far side from me where the angle I had was awful. And Schneip activated and it gave me like the cinematic for it. And I'm just like, maybe it was like against my body. Like, because those X Factor abilities where you can't quantify what they're doing, it's very tough to like have any faith that they're doing anything. So
I think Make It Snappy's 5 times better than Schneip.
And I never noticed it because I don't. It's because you can't take a wrist shot. It's got to be a snapshot.
That'd be a snapper.
You can. So there's what you do with those.
Yep.
And I guess I'm making a video on this at some point soon.
Let's go.
You still wind it up for the Make It Snappy. So like as if you're taking like a wind up like wrist shot, right? You just let go of the right stick while they're still in that wind up animation, and then Make It Snappy activates.
Oh. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try that out then.
There's a little tip for you guys.
I think Matthews has it.
Yeah, there's a freebie.
Yeah. Another budget beast is Athanasiou. Like
always Athanasiou. Cogliano, like the last 15 years.
He's got wingman too, so he has 89 speed as an 80 overall. He cooks.
That's not bad.
And he's like pretty tall.
Morgan Riley has been really good. He's got like 88 speed, and he's actually like half decent defensively. But he's like 10K.
Should I keep him on my team?
Yeah. I walked right into that one. Yeah, he's pretty good, man. But hey, any of the ones, like any of those faster guys, they're like you mentioned earlier, man. Like the straight lining is, man, it's prevalent.
Annoying.
It's prevalent.
Dude, Padre, we probably had like Cogliano on our HUD team since like NHL 12.
Oh, yeah,
Cogliano, Darren Helm, Vermette, Antoine Vermette,
Paul Gostad.
Yeah.
Paul Gostad.
There we go.
Those were the guys. Those were the goats.
I miss those guys.
All right, let's talk about. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just about to add something stupid, so we keep chugging along. I was just about to say goalie doesn't matter.
Your two free master set players from the Spotlight event. Who are you taking?
I answered Padre.
Oh wait, who am I taking? I took McCann, and then I'm gonna take, I guess, Letang, because you guys convinced me now to stick him up, so like godlike. So I guess I'm not taking Bo Byram. Like, especially after Sleazy gave me a spanking on the butt for saying anything about Byram.
You ask me after I tell you again, I'm just deleting your number. No, it's like, I don't know what it is, man. A lot of people have said that, like, because like Letang looks really good. The only issue is if you have if you have a very good team, there's so many good righties at the top. There's not as many lefties.
And I don't have a good team. So
that's the thing. So like, if you don't like,
what about Byram's silver wheels though?
Again, that's with the puck. So like, it's like I would rather, you know what I mean? Like that's with the puck, but you can straight line with the defenseman. Like I noticed Cale Makar, if you get the puck in your own zone and you take Cale Makar and you make one cut in the neutral zone, like he's gone. Right. And because he's got such high agility, that one time when you make a cut, he keeps his full speed. So like elite edges on a defenseman is like totally viable. And
is better.
Regs actually said, I mean, I talked to him after the GWC. I did like a tier list with him, and he said he likes having elite edges on a defenseman, which seems kind of pointless because you'd think like the ability to cycle and cut left and right up in the neutrals or in the offensive zone, but like it's
of course HK aka J Bussy Fousey whatever, he loves Byram. He's the king of the straight line. He loves straight line.
That's what I was saying earlier.
He's the best straight liner in NHL history.
HK won the US regionals in 2020 off of one cuts.
Oh, for sure.
Straight down and then bang, one cut in the middle, and that was it. That was how he won it. I think I'm gonna go with McCann is definitely, because I think a centerman. I mean, McCann is basically Olli Jokinen, only at a fraction of the free as opposed to like 400K as team builder.
Yeah.
Right. I think McCann is definitely, especially with Unstoppable Force. A lot of people I've talked to that have upgraded him because they took him in like the pre-order and they used all their collectibles on him. They say he really knows. I love Goudreau. His 88, like I said, you get in the corner and you can cut away from people so fast, especially because everyone's defense is relatively low. Right, like their defensive ratings are very low. It's hard to find good defensemen early on in the game. But I think I would recommend. I think Byram. I just hate all Byram's abilities. I think it's kind of a waste. But there isn't a lot of great lefties, so that's why. That's why I'm going to take him. I think, and I have Goudreau.
Kind of like last year too. Honestly, remember that? Mm-hmm. I mean, there wasn't a lot of good lefties, and he was really good.
This is what happens. It's like the best because like at the top end of the NHL. I mean, like there's Hedman and Yossi, but the way that they make their cards, it's like very average. Like they're, you know what I mean? They're not exceptional. Whereas like on the right side, you have like Bakar, and then like there's always like those righty like team builders or whatever that are very, very good. So someone says stop sleeping on White Cloud. I think White Cloud's a great defenseman, like a great card. I just think that he is easily the one that gets replaced first. Yeah. Because of his speed being so low. Like in two events, there's more likely going to be a right-handed defenseman that has 90 shooting, that's 6'2" and 90 defense. You know what I mean? Like I think he's a good card, but I think he is just the one that can get replaced first. So
that's why I don't even know if I should like upgrade him or not with the Spotlight collectibles.
It's free
like,
though.
Yeah, I'm saying like, but like making them with the gold cards because I'm such a penny pincher with my stuff. It's like I don't know if I should, you know what I mean? Like keep making sets for these spotlights. I think I for sure should upgrade McCann though, because he could be good for like maybe 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, like you can have him on your fourth line regardless and win draws just because he has a high face-off rating. So yeah.
Right.
Let's just finish up. We'll talk about the market.
One more plug. Once again, this podcast, if you guys are watching and listening, sponsored by Gamersaloon.com. Gamersaloon.com. Go there right now.
If you guys are looking for money games, that's how you get good at the game.
Yeah, if you want to get good, if you want to take HK's
and you want to
money,
play secure money games, right, Kesso? So you don't want to bet with people sometimes off the site. I have an example here in the chat. HK, he played a good friend of ours, John Wayne, in a game, and somebody might not have paid up there, and that would not happen on Gamersaloon, guys. Gamersaloon is a very great website. It's secure. It's safe betting. and that stuff won't happen. You'll get your money, you won't get screwed over, and you won't have to deal with all the drama on Twitter afterwards.
Kesso, how did you pay for tuition when you went to college?
I mean, I still have student loans, but I used to withdraw $200 a week from Gamersaloon back in the day. That was my my spend money, my beer money, all that stuff in college. It was great.
There it is.
On the disputes thing, I actually did. Whenever I was younger, I was playing 2v2s on Gamersaloon in Madden with my friend. And we played like a $50 game, and I was like young. I was like, oh, I don't want to lose $50. We lost the game, and I tried to claim that we won. The Gamersaloon dispute, the customer service, they know who won the game.
Oh yeah,
they got us. Man. I messed up. They suspended me for a week, so I never did that again. So if you want safe, secure money games, Gamersaloon.com.
Absolutely, fellas. You're getting good at the ad reads. I gotta respect it.
It's the most important part.
It is.
It keeps the lights on.
Keeps the lights on. All right, so let's finish up by talking about the market. All right, so someone in chat asked, or you actually didn't realize, so at X Factors, I thought it was because everyone was getting kind of wise. Like last year, no one knew about X Factors or what their longevity would be. It was all just kind of a guessing game, and it lasted quite a while. And as we found out, X Factors are a terrible investment because their better cards come out, and they're very expensive and all of that. And it looked like, man, I got Larkin's X Factor for $30K, and it was not because he was way cheaper. That was just the lowest price compared to them all. And Ovechkin, I sold my Ovechkin in the pre-order, which I shouldn't have done. This is stupid me. For $80. I go and look now, it's $250. So
are you serious? I'm going on the marketplace right now.
It's because my thinking is people still don't know and realize, because the new hotness is like X Factors are awesome card art. And people, if they pull the base card of their card, they want to go get the X Factor because they can get the last tier. And there's very little to spend your money on right now because there isn't a lot of cards out. So other than the team builders, now we have Spotlight. But
people have coins burning.
Now people have coins because in the pre-order, nobody had coins, which is why I said don't sell anything there, because no one has the coins to actually give you the value. And now everyone has a ton of coins, which is still stunning to me because, like, you know, I don't know how they're getting. I mean, I don't know, but anyways, so now X Factors are going for a stupid price. Guys, always go get the cards you want to get and play with. If you have a favorite card or you have a favorite player, make sure that you are always using that because that's how it should be played. But if you're going to play this game and you are someone that doesn't spend money or you're very frugal with it and you don't have a lot of extra indispensable income for Hockey Ultimate Team, I promise you that if it is outside of McDavid and like
McDavid's the only one.
McDavid and McCarr, because there's no way that he doesn't get Team of the Year. And
what about Draisaitl?
No,
dude, I don't think
he's. I'm saying no on every single one. It doesn't matter.
What about Hedman?
No. So the reason why I think McDavid is still fine is because when you get him, I don't say buy him. But if you pack him, like try to get him, and you upgrade all the way to the final thing, he is so fast. It's already basically end game speed. But secondly, when Team of the Year comes out at the beginning of January, whoever are the 6 cards that win that, there will be a trade-in if they have an X Factor to get the Team of the Year card, which is free upgrades for the rest of the year. Right. The issue is that center is usually always locked up for McDavid, but Matthews took home like every award. So the start of the year, if Matthews can keep it close in points to McDavid, then it's actually kind of dangerous. Because if one of those guys wins Team of the Year and you have the updated, it's not stupid expensive until like 93 and above or 92 and above. And if it stays around 92 and it gets to that and then it's Team of the Year, I think that's fine value because you're going to trade it in. Now you have a free 99 for the rest of the year because Team of the Years go up and match the highest overall card, right? If the X Factors like Draisaitl, because he's not exceptionally fast or really great at anything outside of... Like, he's good. Very good card at launch of the game. But speed only goes up by 0.5. And
right. Well, then what about Hedman then? How about that?
Hedman's tough too.
None of them. No. Here's the reason why. What you guys aren't talking about. The abilities. Like, there's going to be a 97 overall Hedman with, like, old truculence or something. The only reason I'm saying to keep the McDavid is because he has gold wheels. There's a chance that Team of the Year McDavid comes out or Team of the Season McDavid comes out and they're going to give him, like, gold
true
tape
to tape,
you know, tape to tape.
But Kessa, what if me and you were playing free to play, right? You said you're going to take untradeable rivals this year. I did that last year. There's no way I would have had the coins unless I get you're banking on
you had
polls.
you had like 10 X factors.
Right, but I was banking on getting a poll for those tradable guys. Like I couldn't buy like a 98 McDavid prime time at the end of the year because it was still a ton of coins.
I think if you manage your coins and you never
Okay.
Making the team of the years is possible if you save early enough. Like if you start in December and you start saving cards, like I'm talking like 84s, 85s, 86s. That's what I think that's the play. Like in December, don't chase the Nations of Hockey event. Don't chase the whatever the flashback, the 16-bit event.
Yeah.
Don't chase that nonsense. Because the beginning of January, we'll talk about this a lot throughout the year. There's Evo, Team of the Year, and Team of the Season. Those are the 3 ones because the cards that you make out of those events are upgrading without a cost to you, which is...
Dude, 16-bit event. It's going to be like Adam Pellick's going to be the MSP.
Bro, Adam Pellick, dude, that's a good one. Scott Mayfield, man. It's going to be Scott Mayfield. No, but
then I'll follow you, Kessa, this year. I'll do what you're doing because you're doing untradeable rivals.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna do good in champs. Like we'll both do pretty good in champs. We'll have good weekends, and
we sell all those cards. We use the best cards we get untradeable. Whenever Team of the Year comes around, we'll trade in all our untradables for
all 4 of them.
Cards.
4 or 6. Yeah. I think I if you can get I think this also changes the game. If you can get 11 wins in Hut Champs, at least 11 every week, you can have almost as many X Factors as you want if you want to use them. But you have to understand that there will come a point where you want to go get the new MSP and you can't afford it because you have to spend $200K to get your Ovechkin from 94 to 95. And that is when you were going to really dislike.
That's why I'm maxing out my X Factors at 2. I'm keeping Zegras on my team all year because that's the most fun one. And then if I get McDavid, 50 plus, he has 100 points right now. Like
I showed,
bro, that is absurd. I think because it was so hard to do last year, no one even tries it.
Right.
Because I did it offline. I was like, this can't be that easy because I heard Nathan was like, dude, he's hit it like 30 times in game. I'm like, no, there's not. And he's like, dude, go and try Zegras. I went in offline. I hit my first time. I was like, oh my God.
No, I told Kessel off podcast, and I don't pump a lot of tires, but I told him, me and my dad were sitting on the couch, and I was like, oh, did the new NHL come out? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you got to see this. Even my dad, like, he's like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm like, he's like, is it hard? I'm like, it's hard to do. And I'm like, this dude hits it like on the fly though. Like I was sitting there in practice mode, and I'm like stopping.
You gotta stop, do the rest it,
and
then
Kessler just comes flying down the boards, and he just zip, boom, that's a goal. Dude, and then now he's flipping it over the net for God's sake.
Yeah, the guy's that was my first 10K view TikTok right there. The Zegras
it should be 100K.
Yeah,
that thing's on.
I'm surprised I didn't get the
it's not a pack pull.
It's not a pack pull.
I'm not going crazy over base Patty Kane.
So you're keeping Zegras. Who else? Which is cool, by the way. I like that. That's cool.
I like that too.
I think that's it. If I pull McDavid, I'll keep him. But like. I have X Factor Stamkos, but I'm not
those. Okay, continue. So I want to stop right here. So the Larkin, Stamkos, Barzal, those 3 specifically, because they're so cheap to get to their X Factor level, I think they are worth it. I would not keep investing, but because it doesn't, I don't even think they require power up collectibles.
They don't.
So like those ones, because they have over 90 skating, you could use those until.
He's
December.
Really good. I like the Stamkos a lot with the gold 1T. I don't really know.
Is it worth doing the sets, the X Factor set or the power up sets? I was going to ask you guys
that. Power up icon, there is 92 icons. Okay, so for everyone that wants to spend 75 cards for a shot at Lemieux and Gretzky, because those are realistically the only ones that are even... I guess I don't want to say worth it, but like because there is some icons.
Even then, Gretzky's like not really like.
Gretzky is always mediocre for me. I always have him every year on the God Squad, and Lemieux is by far better than him. But I get it. But you have to understand, guys, you're getting 3 out of a 92 pool, so you gotta. That is not good value. 75 cards, 1,000 coins each to get a shot. I got 382s. I don't know if you saw that. That TikTok got me like a bunch of views. I was like, all right, just not 82s. Like a damn Boyle, Leonov, and John LeClaire. I was like, oh my God. So, all right, guys. I think that's going to do it. Man, that was fun. New stuff. That was a full
We should just do these live.
I think so too. Guys, if you're listening to this, we recorded it while I was doing my subathon, so my chat was here. I want to thank my chat for hanging with us while we were doing this live. I think we need to do these live. A lot more fun. But
Sunday nights.
yeah, no, absolutely. So tomorrow we'll try, as long as the schedules work out with you guys, to do the hockey podcast, talk about the real
Dude,
NHL.
I can't wait to talk about the shot props. It's all the best
Dude,
thing in my life right now.
I told my wife. She was like, "What are you doing on the way to the Ice Dogs game?" I was like, "Give me. I need like 10 minutes." While I'm walking there, I had to do 15 of those shot props, dude. I did all of them, and it paid off. So,
Yeah.
spoiler alert: Kesso this is not financial advice, but Kesso's
It's
got
not
something.
because I said earlier I'm going to lose money long term. I'm really trying out this shot prop thing this year.
It's worked so far.
I have the data feeding in from Natural Stat Trick. I'm looking at the shot props every day. We're up if 8.5, 9 units so far. So
in 4 days.
yeah, so I want to see how long. Highly likely I'll lose money, but it's fun. And I wanted, so my main thing is I want to document the full thing because I don't believe anybody on Twitter that's like, they screenshot the ticket where they hit some crazy parlay and
Yep. Parlays
so
are suckers.
let's see. Yeah.
But all right, yeah, well, we'll try and record the Real Hockey Podcast tomorrow, and we'll get that up. So, guys, thank you for listening. Episode 50 of Coffee and Chel, and we'll see you guys on next episode. Have a good one.